Let's go back to the basics, back to those memorable places. Before chasing money came with inner voices and statements. Before becoming the megas, I've always been for the pavement. Went out to search for my purpose.
Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy, Sir Josh. Please kid right here in the streets of JHB Southside Lane Mayor. And we're back with another episode of PMP Squared, People and Purpose and Passion. And today we're going to be meeting Miss Jo Pietersen, multi-talented, multifaceted, creative. And we're going to be, having a quick sit down with her. Well, maybe not so much of a sit down. And, just find out exactly, how she got to this point where she is. And yeah, man, I can't wait for you guys to meet her and to hear what she's got to say, man. So Josh, please, one time. Let's go. Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy, Sir Josh. Please, still kicking right here in the streets of JHB Southside by the unnamed, but we've officially named it the Lynmere Mountains. And I'm here with Jo Pietersen, the multifaceted creative, with over a 10-year career experience. But let me not talk too much. Miss Jo, please talk to the viewers. Who is you?
Who is me? Well, I'm Jo Pietersen. I'm a multimedia designer. I specialize in video editing, in photography, and graphic design, and I'm also an artist as well.
Yeah. No, but that's perfect. And I just wanted to, expose you as a person. I know you personally, but, I've always been fascinated by, what you've done and how you've tapped into different fields, especially in the media scene. But they don't know that. So I just wanted to ask, man, how did it all begin, and how did you get to this point?
Okay, well, first and foremost, the first skill I ever discovered I had was drawing, which was art, and that has been something that has been part of my life for eternity. I can't imagine myself not being into art or being an artist or anything.
Yeah.
So I started out, I think the moment I could hold a pencil or a pen, I started drawing.
Yeah.
So that's just been one of those natural born talents that I've always had.
Yeah.
And I used to, I do kind of still sing now and then.
Yeah.
And I used to rap as I used to be a rapper. I used to go by the
By
name
the way, by what, Jaeger?
Steffi Jagger.
Steffi Jagger.
Used to, I'm retired. I'm not coming back out of retirement.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I never say never. But it's all
So
good.
yeah, I got into the music space for quite a number of years actually, and I think I just kind of got tired of it and decided, let me get into something that can bring in returns for me at this current moment where I find myself at. Because as much as I love music, sometimes it's not for all of us to go into.
100%. No?
Despite the fact that people will tell you, oh, you're so talented, you're so good, you should do this, but
it's not that simple. It's not that easy.
it's not that easy, no. And I think in 2014 I got into studying multimedia design.
Yeah.
And that's where I gained my photography and video editing and graphic designing skills as well. And I think the first thing I started freelancing in was photography.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it in my first year. I went out, I bought my first camera immediately.
Where did you go to school?
I went to UJ, specifically FADA.
Yeah.
So I was in that
Wait,
faculty.
what's father?
FADA. I must explain. I was trying to remember. What does FADA stand for?
Oh, it's an abbreviation.
Yeah, it's Faculty of Art, Design and Architecture.
Okay, so I'm guessing when you're studying this, you're not necessarily specifying in one thing, but it's like different.
So it kind of opens you up to more than just one skill. So when I
Yeah.
got in, because it's multimedia design, it's multimedias that you basically
Yeah.
getting equipped in. So there was
Yeah.
photography, there was graphic design, there was UX design,
Yeah.
which is web designing, there was graphic design as well, there was videography as well. So there was quite a bit, and you learned all the basics of everything.
Yeah.
And I think within your third year, that's when you decide, okay, which one am I actually going to major in?
Oh,
So
it
yeah.
sounds like a lot of time spent in front of the computer. Is that it?
A lot.
Yeah.
Like your life revolves around it at some
But,
point.
okay, you were those students who constantly had a laptop on them, like.
Like we could not survive without a laptop. Like you had your lab at school that
Yeah.
had a computer and everything, then you had your laptop that you had to work on at home and everything. So you were basically always in front of the screen.
Right. But you know what I'm hearing is, like, before you even got to school is that you're an artist,
Yeah.
and there's one thing that I always say, like, people think art is your craft, but this is my own opinion, but art is how your brain works, and an artist is just how your brain functions. And I known from the years, that you're an artist, and you're one of the purest one that I've seen, because you've gone from different art forms, and we've been able to see the work, and we've been able to see you just excel in every single thing that you've engaged in. But how did the thing begin? Like, how did you start and choose this path that led you to the point where we are
Right
now?
now.
Yeah.
So went to school, studied, but when I was in high school, I actually wanted to become a full-time artist. But you know how brown parents are, like,
Yeah.
it's not a real job. Get a
Yeah.
real job. So South
Until
African
you're
brown
below.
parents, breaking our hearts here. But like there was like the talk with me,
Yeah.
like get a real job, it's not a real job.
Yeah.
That's when I came across multimedia design, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go study that because I don't want to do graphic design because everyone was doing it. Everyone
Right.
who was creative was going into that avenue, and I was like, nah, I need to be different because I'm someone who likes to be apart from the norm. I
Yeah.
don't like to fit in with the crowds and everything. So I was like, nah, I'm going to the opposite direction.
100%.
And in 2014, I started my studies, and I think that's the year when I decided, okay, I'm gonna freelance in photography. I enjoyed it. I did it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I've been currently doing that now for 10 years actually. So I
Yeah.
haven't stopped being a photographer. I
Yeah.
took a break at some point, but
Yeah.
it will never stop being a part of me.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm holding a camera here. We actually had to take a couple of shots. So
Yeah.
I do hope that you do get a couple of good shots of
I
me
hope so
as
too.
well. We'll show you guys at the end of the episode, and then we'll
Yeah.
judge her. And then we'll put our details below.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
still doing this.
So then
Mm.
from photography, we continued with the studies and then got into video editing. And I really loved video editing at that point. I was like, okay, now this is going to be my career path.
Is
And
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
so photography came first and then came videography.
Mm.
So when I graduated, unfortunately, I wasn't as lucky as most of the people that I graduated with. Some of them got into jobs immediately, and then there was like me who still sat at home and waited for about 6 months or so before anything came along. And
Okay.
I mean, started out in retail first, but I saw a gap there to be able to use my skills. And
Yeah.
I decided, you know what, I'm not just going to do what they're hiring me to do, but I'm going to actually add value to the place. I'm going to use my video editing skills, my photography skills, bring it into this and build a portfolio for myself.
Yeah.
And then from there, the following years, when I actually got into TV, and that's when I actually became a video editor, and I loved it. It was fun. It was amazing. Met amazing people that I'm still friends with till today.
Yeah.
And I really just got to expand in my skill set as well into producing,
Yeah.
as well directing a bit as well. So
Yeah.
that was for about 4 years or so.
Yeah.
And that industry is a bit hectic. So sometimes you do need a bit of a break, okay?
Yeah.
You need a bit of a break.
You
And
know.
I took a break and I went to corporate for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just went straight into just freelancing in videography and photography. And now also a full-time artist, which also only came after I left the workspace.
Wow. Did you guys get that?
That's
It's
a
been
lot.
it's been a journey.
It's been a journey
It's been a
now.
journey, but I love how you spend significant amount of time in each career path that you took. And I wanna talk a little bit more about the time that you spent as a videographer, editor, because I know there was a time you were involved with, what is this channel? Were you on
Super Sport.
Super Sport? Yes, 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 yes. And before we touch on that, just gonna relocate after these commercials because it's getting a bit sore on this rock. So let's go. All right, we are back from our commercials.
Yeah.
I hope we find footage to put in between, yeah? But Miss Jo Pietersen, I wanted to ask a bit more about, your time on television. How was that experience when you got into it? Because I do believe you were behind the scenes doing the video editing and a bit of directing. How was that experience for you, and how did you learn from it, or what did you learn from that actually? What did you take out of it?
I think look, it was an amazing experience for me and very different. Like, when you go to college and stuff, they don't prepare you for what's to come, right? And that's a different industry altogether. You have to have a very strong character when you are in there. You shouldn't be someone who's easily persuaded or pressured or anything, because it's quite hectic. But with my experience being in the TV industry, it was actually quite amazing, because not only was I doing what I love, I was also growing and learning at the same time, because there's so many stuff that you learn, because the industry is ever evolving. It's always evolving. There's always new tricks, new trades coming in, new skill sets, new programs. So you're constantly learning all of these things as time goes. But then I think the most amazing part for me was the fact that I was able to learn and I was not hindered from doing that. So if I wanted to go out and learn producing, I was able to. Nobody's going to stop me and be like, oh no, you can't do this, whatever. I was doing that. In fact, at some point, I was going out, producing my show, directing it, coming back, and then also still editing it at the same time as well.
So, what kind of people were you working with on set? Are we talking about actors? Are we talking about presenters?
So I worked mainly in the sports industry.
Right.
So I was working mainly with sportsmen. Cricketers, people within the cricket business, people within sports business. I was working also obviously with my colleagues who were the camera guys, the producers, the final mixers, the sound engineers, those type of people. We had some presenters as well that we would work with. Sometimes you'd even get the opportunity of working with legends in sports that you've been watching on TV, sports presenters that you've watched growing up, and then I had the opportunity to work with them. It was pretty awesome. I won't lie, it was pretty awesome. So it was really such a great learning curve for me, because I gained so much skills, I gained so much experience, and also I rubbed shoulders with so many amazing people, not just people that I grew up watching, but also people who work in the background that you will never get to know about because they aren't on screen. And I think that's the most amazing part about it. This is why I love being behind the scene rather than in front of it, because there's just so many amazing things that you get to experience and learn while you are there. And the people, as I think that's the most amazing thing. You learn so many, or you get to know so many people with so many skill sets also. Like you learn so much from each other in that industry.
You just reminded me, there was a time where I was working for this promotional company called New Era, and there was a time where we were going to okay, I'm just gonna say it. It was an Mnet program where we're basically going to townships to pick up kids in different schools to expose them in the media industry, to show them that behind acting, behind being a presenter, there is more to television, there's more to media than just what you see. And it was such a fun project to be a part of, because now they're exposing all these guys that you never even think of, and it was so amazing to see like all different types of kids now. Because we'll get there and we'll get asked questions like, who do you want to be? So music was quite popular at the time, so music, and at the end of it, now you see some are interested now, because now those ones who like sound, those ones who like the videos, now they're separating into different groups now, speaking to the different people, so it's actually pretty cool, man.
Look, I won't lie, it's a fun industry to be in. I had the most fun in that industry, actually. Like, you could just be yourself. There was, I wouldn't say there's no rules and regulations. Obviously there are, but you are free to just be you. And I think that's the beauty of that industry, actually. We were able to just be ourselves, feel ourselves. That's why we could easily become friends with people in that industry, because everybody was just being themselves. Although I won't lie, sometimes it was a bit nerve-wracking when you were meeting people that you've been watching on TV for all these years, celebrities, actors, all of these type of people, literally standing like this and having conversations with them like this. Sometimes that can be extremely intimidating, but I won't lie, it really just breaks you out. And it also just breaks your, like, out of your limitation, you know. Your mindset just changes completely once you are in that sphere, because now you realize everybody here is just doing a job and they're loving what they are doing.
100%, man. You know, I want to ask a bit more about, you know, what you're doing now, but I want to get out the sun, because first of all, it's be rainy now. It's just blinding me. So, commercial break. PMP Squared, full and purpose and passion. We'll work on that. All right, Miss Jo Pietersen.
Right.
So, you know, you've gone through the journey of, you know, starting off as an artist, firstly, exploring that. Then you went to school and, you know, you did photography, you did music, and then you went behind the scenes television. And I know currently right now you're into freelancing, and you make paintings.
I do.
You guys don't know this, all right? So Joy and I follow each other on Facebook, and one day I just started seeing these amazing pieces being posted on online, and it, like, I did not see that coming. And with every video, as time went by, you just saw different, you know, works. You know, I'm gonna make sure that you guys also do get a look of that. But how's that going? How's it been? You know, how's the journey? And yeah, what's popping?
You know, you'd expect to walk into something directly that has been a huge part of your life, but for me, I took a complete detour, and I literally only found myself coming back to it in 2020, or the end of 2020, in December.
Wait, that's COVID time, right?
Yeah, it was COVID time, and the reason for that was because I was thinking about giving up art for like quite a while, because I was in the TV industry. Like, my life was completely consumed by it, so I'm like, I didn't have any other time to do anything else.
So it is also time consuming.
It's very so. I thought about it, and then something just clicked in me and was like, you can't give it up. You have to keep going at it. This has been part of you. It's who you are. And in 2021, I just started painting paintings. I started giving some to family members and stuff, because that's what I used to love doing. I used to give paintings as gifts to people. And when I posted it, people started seeing this, and then people started getting interested and like, hey,
I saw that.
I would like to buy. And I was like, really? And then they started inquiring, asking me how much would it cost and all of these things. And that was the year I started selling paintings, but it was just like a side hustle while I was still working. And only last year, after I left corporate, only then I decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to take this seriously, because I should. Why am I not taking it seriously? You know, it's such a huge part of my life. And I decided I need to take this seriously now. I need to try and get into the art market now as an actual professional artist. And I worked towards that, but things just came together unexpectedly without much effort from my side either. And that's when you know, when you're walking in purpose and in passion, when things just align for you, because now it's like, okay, you're walking in a path you were always meant to walk in. So it wasn't a struggle to get into it at all. And when I got into it, started painting, had an exhibition last year. My first exhibition was quite exciting.
That's awesome. Where did you hold it?
The first one was at a gallery in Randburg, which is a fairly new gallery as well. So a lot of people don't know that there's actually a gallery in Randburg. It's quite new. It's called Jeleni and Pindi. So if you're there, please go and check it out. And
Jeleni and Pindi.
Jeleni and Pindi. Yes. And that's where I had my first exhibition, and I met a bunch of amazing artists who weren't necessarily close because you know how it is when you come into a new industry, sometimes people close themselves off and stuff, but they were so welcoming towards me. They wanted to teach me things. Sometimes some of them would just give me random calls and start sharing information with me that I didn't even know I needed, and that's really been such a huge part of me growing as an artist as well. So it's really been an amazing journey, and I'm still continuing. I'm still creating more art pieces as well.
Yeah, not to cut you short, but that's actually what I love, in the creative space and with artists. It is that, it is that love, it is that patience that they have, and it is that passion that they have. Especially when you meet like-minded individuals in the space.
Yeah.
Nine. How do you make that saying? 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna be extremely, evolved. They're gonna want to share, especially if they can just see the same passion beaming from you as well.
Yeah.
And I love that in creative spaces. But how does exhibition actually work? Because I actually do not know that, so I'm actually curious about that. How did you come across it? And how does it actually unfold? Just a quick summary of how that goes.
So, interesting story.
Yeah.
When I decided I was taking this thing
I love
seriously last year, so I became friends with an artist on Facebook actually, and we hit it off immediately, and we became buddies.
Yeah.
And literally, I think 2 months into our friendship, he called me up and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come to the Sip and Paint on Friday?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't really have the cash and all of this stuff," and I was making excuses and stuff. Even though I've never been to a Sip and Paint and I've always wanted to go, but I was just like, nah, it's okay, I'll sit this one out. And then a few days later, he called me again, I think the day before, and he's like, "You are coming." He didn't even give me a choice. He didn't even give me a choice. He was just like, "You're coming tomorrow, I'm going to see you there." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, I'll come." And I went to the Sip and Paint, I went to the gallery, it was at the same gallery. And it was amazing. They took us on a walkabout. They spoke about the artist and the work that was up there and everything. And then we got into the session of painting and everything. And I think I was kind of stealing the show, which I was trying not to do. I was really trying my best to dumb down on the skill, because I'm like, I'm not trying to stand out and I'm not trying to make these people feel bad, So I was trying to disguise myself as a normal person who doesn't know how to paint.
Yes, typical introverts. They always do this.
It was not working. It did not work. Because every artist that came past me, they're like, "Are you an artist?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not." And they came back and they're like, "No man, be honest." And I kept lying. I was like, "No, I'm not an artist." And then the gallery owner came to me and he was like, "Okay, be honest. Like, are you an artist?" And I was like, "Okay. Yes, I am an artist." And then it's like, "Yeah, no," because we could all tell. All of us, we were sitting in the corner, we were discussing. You were like, "Nah, that one's got talent. Like, she made her own brown when everyone else is asking for brown."
Well, you made your own.
I made my own brown.
Yeah, nah, you are not doing a good job of being disguised.
I'm very bad at lying. It does not work in my favor. And then I think during that conversation, the gallery owner was like, "Hey, I'm thinking of having an exhibition later this year. Can you please be part of that?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, no, I want you to be part of that exhibition. You're one of the artists that I want in that because your work is amazing and this and that." I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Is it that easy?" Because usually I know people have to approach galleries and show their work off and all of these things. I did not think it would come to me that easy.
Well, you were headhunted, man. Yeah, sometimes these things can be spiritual as well. I think to be honest, I think it was actually spiritual, and I think that's why my friend was also pushing for me to come through that day, because he just felt the need that he felt that I needed to be there that day specifically. And now I understand why he was carrying on like that, because now I see, look at me today, look where I'm at now. So how a gallery works is, or how an exhibition works, is that so it depends on whether you're having a solo exhibition where it's just your work, or whether it's a group exhibition. So I was part of a group exhibition, that first one, and there's usually a theme you work around. And he had a theme, and most of the artists that he approached were abstract artists already. So he just brought us together and we got a theme, which was abstraction.
and we started working also on more works in line with the theme as well. And once your work is done, whatever you hand it in, you give the names of it, the pricing, all of these things. They create catalogs, a price list as well. And on the day of the exhibition, that's when everybody else is welcome to come through and now see the actual work and see the pricing. And if people are interested and want to buy it, they are able to do so. If you just want to come and have a look, you're also welcome to do so as well. So it's quite simple, but it's such a nice experience as well, because the people that you meet and you get to rub shoulders with during that process is quite amazing. And I think for all the exhibitions that I've been part of so far, I've built quite nice relationships with a bunch of other artists as well, and people within the industry.
No, man, that's pretty awesome, man. I mean, here you are today, and you've got a couple of art pieces of your own as well, and I actually can't wait for you guys to see her work as well. But for now, we're gonna go take some pictures because the weather is starting to behave, and yeah, man, you guys stay tuned for part 2. But this has been PNP Squared, and we're still here, but we're gonna call this day 1.
Yeah, day 1.
Look out for day 2. All right.
Movie.